Eamon Khan here for Seconds Out with Aaron the Silencer McKenna. Aaron, good to see you. Great background as well too. Really fitting for yourself and where you're going. When did you get that all sorted?
Yeah, we just got that set up this last week. A lot of posters from our fights, and then posters from our all-time greats. From back in the day, and they're all original posters too. So it's a nice bit of history to have in the gym.
Looking forward to making some more history, I'm sure. But let's go to your most recent fight against Liam Smith. That was a real good fight between the two of you, and you came out the victor. I guess you'd put that as the best victory on your ledger so far, right?
Yeah, definitely. It was a very good win for me, and a win that I needed in my career because I've wanted to fight that big now for so long, and to do it against a former world champion as well, who's very experienced and had a lot of big wins, makes it even better. And to do it on the biggest stage possible, on the biggest card the UK has ever seen, it's incredible, and it's done my career wonders. And finally now people know who I am, people know what I can do, and all them stuff I've been saying for years is finally coming out, and people are starting to believe me, and I know what I'm capable of, and I will become world champion.
How long did you think that you were ready for an opportunity like that?
Well, I've been calling for a big opportunity since I was as young as 19, 20. And I do honestly believe back then I've been ready for a fight this big. I went and I've been sparring the best fighters in the world over in America since I'm 16, sparring world champions as young as 16. So I know what I'm capable of. I've got a very good amateur pedigree, turned pro as soon as I went 18, and sparred the best fighters in the world. And I know what I can do and what my skills are like, and it was just about proving it and getting the opportunity. So to actually finally get it and do it on that stage that I was on, and not many people thought I was going to do it, and to do it in the way I did it makes it even better. It was a convincing win, and against someone who was world level, and it was only 2 fights ago he knocked out Chris Eubank, so to win in the convincing fashion I did makes it a lot better.
I'm gonna be very honest with you here, Aaron. When it comes to the fight between you and Liam, I thought that Liam might be the favorite considering his experience, but you proved that wrong. What do you think got over that experience factor? What were you able to do to beat Liam?
Well, I believe in my ability. I knew as far back as many years ago what I can do, and I just really believe in the training I've been doing. Me, my dad, and my brother, we are so dedicated to the sport and the game, and to finally get it, against Smith. I think the way I done it, like you said, not many people thought I was going to do it. The people who know me, the people who's been following me from the very start, knew what I was capable of and knew I had the style in me to do it. And I said to Smith, what I was going to do was I was going to fight him in southpaw, and that's what I done. I'm not even a southpaw. That's the first time I've ever fought southpaw for so long, and I done it convincingly as well in southpaw. And then at the halfway point, I fought him in his own style. So to really do it in multiple styles throughout the fight just shows how good I am, and I believe I'm a world-class fighter.
Did you think you had him stopped in the 12th?
Yeah, it was a nice time body shot, and not many people would have got up from it, so I have to give him credit for that. But I wanted to get him out of there, but I didn't want to get reckless either. I had the fight in the bag. I'd won every single round, so I just wanted to, keep calculated and not switch off. World-class fighters don't switch off for 1 second, so you have to stay focused for every second of every round, and you can't get sucked into traps. And you could see the experience in him. He was world champion for a reason, and you could not switch off for a second against him. But I was very happy to get that knockdown.
You and your brother obviously have the style to, I guess, want to impose yourself before and the pre-fight build-up. I think Liam took a little bit offense to that. Did you speak to Liam afterwards? And I saw that Joe McNally come into the changing room afterwards and said, look, he's kind of passed the baton on to you and to take that man off from him. But have you spoke to Liam since?
No, I never got speaking to him really, just a bit of small talk. But not much, but yeah, his coach come in after the changing room as well and give some words of advice. And they're good people, the Smith family, and nothing but respect for them.
I did come across a tweet that you put out yesterday in response to Turkey Al Sheikh. The announcement has now come forward. Canelo versus Crawford is, of course, official, happening in Las Vegas as well. Too, a huge fight, which has been there's an invitation has been put out for all the best fighters in the world to stake their claim to be on the undercard, and you've put your claim out there as well too. You said ready to face Janibek, Adames, or Lara, any of the middleweight world champions. To get yourself an opportunity on that undercard. Not a lot of people will be calling or running towards those names, Aaron. I guess that confidence is in there in you to want to take that step up.
Yeah, well, it's boxing, and people want to see the best fights. I'm in it to become world champion. If you're not in this sport to become world champion, then you're in the wrong sport. And I believe I do become world champion, and it's just all about getting the opportunity. It doesn't matter who it's against. I'll fight anyone, any place, anytime. I have full confidence in myself to beat any of them. So it's just about getting the opportunity. And thankfully, in my last fight, I did get my opportunity. In the Ring magazine card, and Turkey Al Sheikh gave me the opportunity to really showcase myself to the world. So I'd really love the chance to get it again and do it on an even bigger stage, on the biggest fight of all time of our generation.
Of those three names that you put out on social media, which one do you think is the toughest test?
Doesn't matter. They're all world champions. Every world champion is going to be good. So I'd fight any of them. It doesn't matter if it's Lara, Adames, Johnny Beck. I just want to get the world title. And once I become world champion, then it's all about unifying and becoming undisputed. So I just want to get my chance to take over the middleweight division. I think it's crying for someone to come along and take over it and bring some excitement to it. And I think I'm the man to do it. I'm 25, so I've got another good solid few years in my prime, and I'll be around for a long time. So I want to be the one to take over it.
What's the situation currently with you getting out then next or before the end of the year? If, let's say, for example, this opportunity doesn't come to pass on the Canelo Crawford undercard, have you got a date penciled in?
My manager, McKenna, he's working hard in the background. So my team's working very hard at the minute, and my next fight's going to be massive regardless.
Mm-hmm. Getting into that Crawford versus Canelo undercard, or Canelo Crawford, however you want to spin it. Of course, you want your place there on the undercard. But what about your prediction for the fight? Who do you see getting their hand raised?
Yeah, well, I sparred Terence Crawford last year over in Las Vegas when I was getting ready for my fight in Japan. And I know how good he is. And I always knew he was world class. But getting the opportunity to spar him just proved even more how good he was to me. And I rate him pound for pound #1 in the world. I do believe he's the best fighter right now. And I do think he can beat Canelo. At 168, it just all depends, how Canelo's power will affect him. But I don't see why he can't outbox Canelo and technically beat him. He's one of the smartest fighters out there and one of the best fighters I've ever sparred. And I do realize how good he is, so I do think he beats Canelo.
How does he do it? Does he have to box in a similar way to Skull because of the size difference, or can he do it his own way?
I'd say a bit of both. I don't think he could really move too much. I think he would mix it in a bit, but probably not much. But he is very good on the inside as well. He can switch as well. He's orthodox southpaw. He's very good in the southpaw stance. And I don't know how Canelo will get on, if he does switch against him. Canelo is very smart as well. One of the best pound for pound fighters as well in the world at the minute. So it's realistically two of the best fighters coming up against each other, and it's going to be an amazing fight.
What did Terence say to you after the spars ended? Did he give you any tips and tricks?
Yeah, Terence was really impressed with me. Him and Bomac, they were both very impressed with my style and how I sparred him. And Terence came up to me after and gave me advice and was happy. And then as I was sparring the other fighters in the camp, he was coming up in between the rounds, giving me feedback on what to do, and yeah, they were very impressed. And it's great to hear the likes of that from a world class fighter, one that I rate the best in the world.
Go on, share us a little bit of the feedback. What did he say?
Just how I use my range and that, and how smart I am, switched on. But yeah, Terence, when you're getting advice from him, you have to make sure and soak it in, because he's really gifted and he's a world class fighter.
So the win over Liam Smith on that Eubank Jr. Benn undercard, if you get the opportunity to fight one of the world champions on the Canelo Crawford undercard, would it make up for missing out on that tournament that fell through in Japan and that $1 million that was there up for grabs?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I rate this the biggest card. You know, Jesus, probably in the last 10, 20 years anyway. I don't remember a card as big as this. Undisputed versus undisputed. You know, you've got two of the biggest, best fighters in the world coming up against each other in Las Vegas. I made my pro debut in Vegas, so I know how special it is to fight there. So it would be an absolute honor to get in the undercard and again show my world class boxing skills and prove myself as a fighter.
And just before I let you go, of course, you're on the undercard to Eubank Jr. versus Benn. Did you get a chance to watch that in amongst all the celebrations?
Yeah, I went out and watched it. It was a great fight, and what an atmosphere it was. Tottenham Hotspur Stadium was brilliant. The atmosphere was unreal in my fight as well. But yeah, Eubank Benn was a great fight, and it was very entertaining.
If there was a rematch between the two of them, who would you back?
Uh, it all depends again on the weight. I think Eubank did struggle in the end, to come down and make the weight, but in the later rounds he still proved himself, and he probably won the last 2 or 3 rounds, and it was very close right up until the last few rounds. So you probably have to lean towards Eubank, but no one expected it to be that close, I don't think. No, Ben really shocked everyone, and he put in a very good performance.
And as did you on that undercard. You certainly proved a lot of people wrong, including myself, I'll admit as well too. Aaron, much appreciated. Thank you for your time. Looking forward to seeing you on a big opportunity, a big card again.
Thanks very much. Thank you.